Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our GETI live sessions under the hashtag Disruptive Education series. I'm your host, Preena Arora, and as you all know, so far we have conducted more than 1,100 sessions on this forum, an initiative by Global Education and Training Institute under Dr. Sunita Gandhi with the sole vision to transform education by sharing ideas for change. And we at Getty are committed to teachers' training and professional development to facilitate learning, teaching, and sharing ideas under this hashtag Disruptive Education Movement, where we bring education leaders from around the globe to deliberate and discuss. So today, we are back here with our guest, Ms. Priyanka Singh, who is the principal at Tagore Vanasthali Public School in Kasoli, with 21 years of experience in teaching and administration. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am, on this forum of Getty. And she is going to talk on emotional well-being of students. So let's welcome ma'am once again. And without much ado, I would request ma'am to please take over.
Thank you, Preena. It's a pleasure to be here on Getty platform. Thanks once again to Getty for having me here. The topic that we are going to talk about today is a crucial topic. It's about emotional well-being in children, school children, and college, the adolescent. So, I would like to share the screen. Monitoring emotional well being. Well, as the title says itself, monitoring emotional well being. Emotional well being is connected with the overall personality. As we are aware these days that we are taking care of our health because of the pandemic, everything is the priority is health, and health includes psychosomatic or well-being, which is emotional, mental and physical both. So emotional well-being is a topic of much concern because emotional well-being, like if mind is okay, the body is okay, your life is okay, everything is interconnected. So today what we are going to discuss is the agenda for today's workshop will be the list of protective and risk factors in youth suicide, describing warning signs of suicide both in teens and younger youth, and the steps to take when approaching suicidal youth. So we'll be discussing these three major concerns related to mental well-being, which is primarily we'll be talking about the suicidal attempts, suicidal tendencies in youth. So why should schools care about suicide? Being a principal of a school, I would like to start the talk as why school should take care about suicide. A student's mental health can affect their academic performance. Yes, we talk about the mental health now, what comprises of the in the mental health, and gradually how it transits into the thoughts which take them to further take actions. So we'll talk about that. A student's mental health can affect their academic performance. Maintaining a safe environment is part of school's overall mission. And a student's suicide can significantly impact other students and the entire school community. If something unforeseen happens, if something unpleasant happens in the campus, it affects the whole peer group, the whole organization. Now, here, we talk about America because most of the things are affecting us by following the Western culture. So it would be imperative to talk about Western countries as well. 90% of American youth are enrolled in schools. They provide an optimal environment for identifying and reaching out to youth at risk for suicide, which is much needed here in our country and to us also. Now, why should schools care about suicide? Teachers play an important role in school connectedness. Now, what does this mean? Teachers, as the students look up to the teachers, students uh, here in primary classes, especially the kindergarten children, they absolutely look up to their teachers. They don't even listen to their mothers sometimes because they say, teacher ne ma'am ne ye bola hai, because that is what they have to believe in, they have to follow, they have to listen to their teachers. So it's an important role of teachers, what they impart, what they teach them, how they portray themselves, what they feed in their children's mind. So teachers have an important role to play in school connectedness. Connectedness is an important factor in improving academic achievement and reduction in suicidal thoughts and attempts. Yes, teachers play a major role in children's life. A negative statement by a teacher can affect a child's personality, overall personality, lifelong. One sentence, I'll give you my example. I was in class 3 or 4. My father was in an administrative service, so he had frequent postings as an IS officer. He was posted after every 6 months or say, and that place in rural areas also. So we were studying in so-called good schools of those rural areas, but you can understand what kind of schools we had long time back, 30 years ago in rural areas. So the communication skills and the confidence in me was minimal, was zero. After some time, when I was in class 5, my father decided for all the children, we are 3 brothers and sisters, so he decided to set up, establish my mom along with the children in the capital city of that state. And he thought of getting relocations. He relocated every time when he got posting, and my mom was supposed to be with us in that best city, the capital city. And we got admission in convent. Now, uh, in class 5, I was admitted in a convent school with no knowledge of English, with no knowledge of presenting myself, the confidence, the self esteem, with everything zero, you can say. That was my teacher in class 5. Imagine, in class 5. And she helped in such a way that she told me, Priyanka, you are the best. And when you're talking to others, uh, just think that what you are saying is the best thing that you're saying. You be confident. There's nobody who's going to reprimand you, nobody's going to punish you for wrong sentence or construction of sentence. The kind of confidence she infused in me brought me till here. And I can very well relate to the teacher's role in a student's life. 100%. That's my live example, which I keep giving to the students. Now, parent, teacher, and student, this is a connect. All two of the both the quarters, parents and teachers, are responsible equally for a child's overall development, mental, and yes, physical also, we can say, because the sports and or the co-curricular activities that we conduct in the school, everything is important and responsible for a child's overall growth. Now, the risk factors why children tend towards suicidal attempt is: depression develops a combination of genetic predisposing factors and environmental factors, that is, nature and nurture. Nature means the genetic facts, the genetics, the genes that you are carrying with you is genetic predisposing factors, and nurture is the acquired that you have in you. The environment, that the role that environment plays is nurture. Nature is what you inherit, and nurture is what you acquire. Now, top factors among this is family history of suicide, attempts, and psychopathology. History of past suicide attempts. Other psychiatric disorders such as ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Most of the children have that in their growing age right now, which can be controlled because of the video games and because of the this thing you the games, actually the video games, those have quick uh, this thing what a reward. Because of that, this attention disorder develops anxiety, intellectual disability, and substance abuse is use of illegal drugs or alcohol. Availability of lethal agents. Ongoing exposure to negative events such as abuse, neglect, or bullying, peer victimization. We, as teachers, need to be very, very careful in managing these factors. Neglect or bullying, we are responsible as teachers. If a child is being bullied, we need to identify that thing happening in our classes, in our playgrounds, in wherever in the school. That means we need to be vigilant about all these behaviors of the children. Peer victimization, yes, it's a kind of bullying. Only peer victimization, the ऐसे नहीं करना, तू बड़ा smart बन रहा है, तू आगे आगे बोल रहा है, all those things. Every day we come across these things. Every day as teachers we come across these things. We need to be very, very careful about these part as teachers. Those cyberbullied report 2 times more likely to attempt suicide. Cyberbullies, yes, we also need to be careful about this. We need to talk to the children, create a bond amongst the student and children so that we know what's going on in their lives. And negative cognitive style, pessimism, inflexible thinking. Now, negative cognitive style is what? It is a personality dimension. This is personality dimension which influences attitudes, values, and social interaction. Your attitude, your values, and social interaction is your cognitive style, behavior of your personality. So this becomes negative, is negative cognitive style, which that means no presence of values in you, attitudes are negative, and social interaction is also towards negative thing. You don't want to interact, the child doesn't want to interact with others, shams, or just hides. Being introvert is a different thing. That is an aspect of nature, being introvert, that the child doesn't like to speak much, doesn't matter. But refraining from social activities and social interaction is a point to be marked and point to be alert about that particular student and to be vigilant about this kind of behavior. Pessimism means thinking negative all the time. So we need to infuse positivity among children. Now, risk factors in the gender wise, it's males have higher rates of suicide and females have higher rates of unsuccessful attempts. Okay, 60% higher rate of depression in pre-pubertal boys than girls. Boys toppers here, this thing. LGBTQ youth have more likely to experience SI and make attempts. So this is a kind of personality which is different from what we call normal. See, now we cannot say that this is also abnormal, as everybody is aware about this thing, the rules and whatever is happening around. So we can't say it's abnormal, but yes, it's what we consider to be normal. It's a little different from the normal. So uh, they are pressurized by the society, they are humiliated by the society. Maybe this can be also one of the reasons, and we need to be vigilant about this kind of personality present in our children. We need to identify, and if found any, we need to counsel the parents. This is the most most required thing that we as teachers need to do. We need to be normal about everything and make the parents normal about the personality disorders, as we call it. Now, the model of suicide risk. This is a model given by Thomas Joyner in 2006. Now, desire for suicide. What is how does it develop, the desire for suicide? Perceived burdensomeness. It is a mental state characterized by a perception that others would be better off if I were gone. Now, what do we understand with this? The person thinks that I am a burden to the society, or maybe for the family, or for any reason, for friends, or if I am gone, the situation would be better. But it's never like that. It's never like that. Nothing can be more than uh, nothing can become better if you quit from your life. Nothing. This is what we need to teach the children. So perceived burdensomeness, because I'm burdened to the society, I'm burdened to the family, I'm burdened to the school, or whatever the reason. So we need to be vigilant about this characteristic present among the students. Now, thwarted belongingness. This is a psychologically painful mental state that results when the fundamental need for connectedness. Now, thwarted word means something which you have planned is has vanished, is not working. Your thwarted belongingness uh, means, as the word suggests, you can understand. Belongingness means you belong to something which is thwarted, as you thought, something related to perceived burdensomeness. And so this develops into desire for suicide. Now, and there is another factor which is acquired capacity for suicide. It is continuous construct accumulating over time with repeated exposure to salient experiences. Now, this is how it is acquired. This is, you can say, it is present there in the mind, which we need to work with the students and get rid of, help them get rid of this feeling. Now, high risk of completion or serious attempt. Acquired capacity has the high risk of completion. So, risk for suicide attempt is based on pain, hopelessness, connectedness, and suicide capacity. So, desire and ability. There are two factors on which suicide depends: is desire and ability. So let's pray that the ability doesn't work for the children who attempt that. But in the first place, we need to work in just educating children that they don't go towards this thought even. Now, protective factors. Let's come to the protective factors. How can we protect uh, protect our children from having the thought for ending up their lives? Strong family and friends supports. So, strong family. See, as teachers, we can counsel the parents, we can have interaction with the families for various on various occasions, and we can educate the parents, educate everyone for strong bonding. Friend supports, we can help in the campus. Now, connection to community, school, organizations, etc. This is love for your community, school, and organization. These all attributes, these all factors, these all skills we need to develop since the childhood, as parents, as teachers. Religious and spiritual belief system. Yes, this does work in bringing positivity to the mind. Religious and spiritual uh, belief system. There are some things which we believe in, and children do not take the step further, if they believe in some spiritual system, in various religion, and so on. Positive self esteem. Now, how do children develop positive self esteem? Of course, as parents, we need to infuse that in the children, and as teachers, we need to encourage and appreciate children all the time. See, we cannot say that we need to scold, or we need to reprimand, or we need to beat children for any reason. As an educationist, I totally am against of this, and I do not believe in uh, even see, staring at the children, your body language should always be positive, not even staring, or your eyes also should not scold the children. In every case, the child should be appreciated with a this thing. But when your writing is very good, but if you start mm, uh, curving a little bit this way, you would be the best. You speak very well. uh, just but you just learn the intonations, learn to stop on commas and full stop, and you will be the best. You are the best dancer. It's just that learn the particular move like this. There are several ways of appreciating children, and this builds up self esteem. Now, positive cognitive style, optimistic, good problem solving. These are the life skills that we need to inculcate in children since the childhood. From, say, kindergarten, we need to inculcate optimism and good problem solving techniques among the students. Now, you will say, how can a 3 year or 4 year old child solve a problem? Yes, the child can solve a problem. For example, the child has examination tomorrow. The child has to complete some worksheet or some uh, work given by the teacher, and also the child has to attend a family wedding or family function. Okay, now, instead of giving instructions to the child yourself, don't go to the party, study, or you study and then you can go, just leave this problem onto the child. Leave it on the child. Now you say you have to take examination also tomorrow, and this marriage, bua's marriage, is also important. What to do? Make a part of problem solving, decision making. The child, make the child a part of it. So the child himself or herself will say, Mama, let me complete the work today within half an hour, and then I'll go to the marriage. And when I come back, I'll do this, or whatever solution the child gives. Just improvise a little bit more if required, or else just agree to whatever the child has suggested. So, this way, the child develops problem solving techniques, problem solving, and this gives confidence, and this positive esteem is built up itself. And next is means restriction. This is discipline that we need to inculcate in the child. Means restriction. You don't have to pluck flowers from there. You will not. Even if nobody is watching you, you're not supposed to do that. The things which are prohibited, you are not even supposed to do that when nobody is watching. This is what integrity is all about. Don't do right always, even if nobody is watching. So, if the child means restriction, even if nobody is watching, if we see, we as adults, what mistakes we commit while driving. If we are driving at late night or early morning, there is red light, but nobody is watching. We see left and right, and we just cross, we just break the light, we just cross. The child sitting behind or in with you is watching that. We did not say a word, we did not tell the child to be dishonest, but we made the child learn from our behavior. We lead by example. Parents and teachers both, we always lead by example. What we do is learnt by the child. See, we say बहुत संस्कारी है and full of this thing. A sanskar is not a tablet or medicine that is given, two spoons of sanskar to this, he needs 3 spoons. No, sanskar is the behavior that we do. The What we do is followed by children. What we teach them, by doing what we teach them by doing, is the values that we are teaching them. So we have to, as adult, we have to be very, very careful. And this kind of children grow up into confident individuals, optimistic individuals. So we need to be very, very careful right from the beginning. Now, warning signs. What are the warning signs that we need to be careful about? That we can see that the child is developing a kind of negativity and may end up into ending his or her life. So these are the points that are written here. Quickly, I'll go through those. A negative view to self means the child starts talking negative about himself. A sense of hopelessness or no hope for future. क्या है ऐसे always negative, क्या है कुछ नहीं होता, India is like this. I've seen people talking like that. There's nothing in India, there's nothing. There are so many Indians making us proud. There's so many people who are successful, but we always keep. I've seen many people talking ill about our country, our politicians, though even if it is required, even if it's true, right from the beginning, we need to keep a positive environment inside the house. We keep discussing the political leaders, their deeds. This is what children listen from the beginning, from their childhood, and they also become like that. So we need to keep positive environment among the school, inside the classroom, and home. Isolation or feeling alone, this is a warning sign. Yes, we have to be vigilant as teachers and parents. Isolation, if the child always wants to sit alone, aloof, is a loner, be warned, be vigilant. Aggressiveness or irritability, yes, all the time the child is ready to fight, we need to be. Possessing lethal means something which is prohibited, something which is not supposed to keep. The child is having that. Be aware, beware, be vigilant. Feeling like a burden to others, the same thing which I said, burden to others. No, then this is a warning sign. You need to identify these signs into. We need to identify these signs among children. Drastic changes in mood and behavior. Yes, this is also suddenly the child starts behaving unpleasantly, or the child was not like that and has become like this frequently talking about death. Yes, this is, we talk about that. See, today, just now, we heard about a TV actor, favorite amongst many, has passed away just now. We felt bad, but we can't just keep talking about that in and out from now or till the night, tomorrow also. We can't. We feel bad. We do feel bad. We empathize, we sympathize, but we can't keep talking about death all the time. So be careful if a child does so. Self harm, like cutting behavior, self harm, be very, very careful. In schools also, the students tend to do these things. I have witnessed as a administrator of the school. We have to be very, very vigilant about this. Engaging in risky behaviors. चलो यहाँ से jump मारते हैं, वहाँ जाते हैं, nothing will happen, nothing. Be very careful. These are the warning signs. It doesn't mean that if a child has a few signs, is heading towards suicide, not that. But we need to be vigilant. We need to be careful about that. Start noting their anecdotal reports, so that you get the correct behavior pattern of the child. Making funeral arrangements, though this is not possible every now and then, but still we need to be careful. Just keep these points in your mind. Substance abuse means illegal drugs and medicines, that giving things away, means the child is not bothered about the possessions that the child has, is happy in giving away. So that also to some extent is a sign to be warned about. Now, warning signs in youth: being preoccupied with that in conversation, writing, or drawing. The same thing that we spoke about. Be vigilant about them. Making suicidal statements, yes, we should not take it in easy we should not take it easily. If a child is making some statement which includes suicidal attempts or suicide, be very, very careful. After you speak with the child, after you watch the child, you'll come to know whether it was just like that or it meant something. Okay, giving away belongings. Child is not caring about the belongings, the same thing that we were talking about. We have to be very careful about all these signs. Withdrawing from friends and family, is not interested in friends, not interested in family. This is also a warning sign. Be vigilant about it. Having aggressive or hostile behavior, same thing, suddenly erupting or ending up into fight or argument or hitting. We have to be careful. Neglecting personal appearance. Child is not interested in himself or herself at all. There are some children who are simple, who don't bother about their looks or much, but absolutely giving up, neglecting personal appearance, absolutely is a warning sign. Running away from home, yes, of course, that means detachment. We have to be careful about that. Risk taking behavior, such as reckless driving or being sexually promiscuous. So we need to be careful about it. A change in personality, such as from upbeat to quiet. Sudden change in personality is an alarming sign. So we need to be careful about that. Now, problems that may trigger a suicide attempt in youth. The problems that can trigger. We have problems, but it's not always that it triggers suicide, but it can. Drug or alcohol use problems, stress caused by physical changes, related puberty, chronic illness, and or sexually transmitted diseases. So we need to be careful about this. We need to talk to the children. We need to be open as parents, as teachers, and know everything about them. Withdrawing from others and keeping thoughts to themselves, not discussing their thoughts, and withdrawing from others. Again, that's sitting a loner, becoming a loner, sitting in isolation. We need to be careful about these signs. Uncertainty surrounding sexual orientation, such as bisexuality or homosexuality. Yeah, these things nowadays have become major problem. So we need to be careful about these. Causes of student suicide. What is causing them to suicide? Family problem, physical and mental illness, drug addiction, love failure, financial problems, failure in exams, unemployment, unable to adjust to colleagues' culture, self deprecating, depression, loneliness. I think the word itself explains only self deprecating. I would like to elaborate on. Self deprecating is means that the child undermines himself or herself, belittles, undervaluing yourself, reprimanding oneself, excessively modest. Yes, this is also to be careful about. Excessively modest. Being modest is good. Being modest, everyone loves the children who are modest, but being excessively modest is also a warning sign. Too much of positivity also ends to negativity. You cannot have more than one or two spoonful of sugar in a tea. More than You can't have 10 spoons of sugar in one cup of tea. So too much of positivity also sometimes leads to negativity. Now, some additional causes of student: lack of support from college in times of distress, high expectations of society. Rote learning in our education system is making the college education dull, boring, and purposeless. Beware the lecturers, the teachers. Rigid structure of the syllabus and no freedom to skip the subjects. Now NEP is catering to most of these problems. Now the new education policies that has come into this in practice will have most of the problems sorted out. Unbearable emphasis on marks. This also will be sorted out in some times, I believe. Mental illness are still a taboo subject in India. Yes. Uh, He's mad, he's psycho, he's so and so. These statements are not to be made. Being sick, if somebody has a fever, we don't say he has a fever, he is coughing, he's sneezing. No, mental illness is also a kind of disease, it's a kind of illness. So why to be treated differently? It's just as having a fever, having cold, or any other disease. So we have to be normal about these things, and if we are normal, our children will be normal about all these things. It's again lead by example. The way we react to anything, the children learn the same reaction from us. Incentivizing competition and comparison between students. Yes, incentives for competitions and comparison between students. Comparison is a big no. Is a big no. He is good, but doesn't mean that he is not good. We have to be very careful in making statements about these. Lack of importance to mental health in India. As I said, yes, we need to be aware, we need to sensitize children, we need to educate parents, adults about mental health, and sensitize students about mental health. Now, problem that may trigger suicide attempt in youth. Uh, External possession or purchase of weapon, pills, or other means of inflicting self harm, legal or discipline problems, witnessing the suicide of a family member, troubles at school such as falling grades, disruptive behavior or frequent absences, loss of a parent or close family member through death or divorce. Be careful about this. Now, suicide in elementary school. Although the incidence of suicide is low prior to adolescence, suicide still ranks as the 11th leading cause of death in children aged 5 to 11 years with devastating consequences for families. Suicide is a leading cause of death among school aged children younger than 12 years old, and the suicide rate has increased significantly in children at this age group. I am witness to a few as in my career of 21 years. Unfortunately, I have witnessed the things which I'm telling you right now. It was unfortunate, but yes, true. Suicidal ideation, highest rate in middle school. You idealize, you fantasize. These are the major problems. Suicidal attempts and death by suicide increase in high school and beyond. Now, risk factors for younger students: multiple losses in the family, death, suicide, illness of family members, major disruptions in the family, that is, divorce. Major problem. We need to be careful about this. Or else, if we morally bring up our children, these factors do not uh, bother the child much. If we bring up the children morally, strongly, strong with strong moral values, if they are morally strong, these factors, external factors, do not affect them much. I've seen children, such children suffered abuse and neglect. Be careful about that. Exposure to violence, tragic public events or schools, shooting, etc. Repeated TV coverage of tragedies. Be very careful in what you watch at home. Witnessing, experiencing family abuse, a major cause which is hidden, which is doesn't come in light much, but this is also prevailing, unfortunately, and we sometimes neglect or overlook, which we should not. Family moving, single family structure. Moving means detachment from the family, relocation, and single family structure, also parents working, children being alone at home, learning difficulties, chronic medical illness. Protective factors in younger students: school climate, of course, strong sense of self worth or self esteem, pets, responsibilities, duties to others. Pets play a very important role in a child's life. Child learns to love. A child learns to empathize. Child learns to be positive. Child learns from the pets because they are selfless, and the child learns loyalty, selflessness from the pets. Reasonably safe and stable environment, connectedness, family, peers, school, trusted adults. What do children understand about suicide? Now, very important thing. What do they understand? What do they know about suicide? Three concepts children should understand about death: that it is irreversible. Once you die, you are not going to come back. It's final. It is not a trip which they will return. It's not a trip that you go and you come back. They need to know this. They need to know about this. This should be taken up as a lesson, as a chapter in the school. Brings about non functionality. The body functions stop. The person is not asleep. The body functions stop. You're not asleep. You are gone. They need to understand this. Inevitable, everyone will die sometime. Death is inevitable, yes, everyone has to die, but why do you want to bring it early? There's no problem in this world which can make you die. You can solve each and every problem. And as everybody knows, impossible also has I am possible. So we need to educate children on that, sensitize children on that, being positive. Most children understand these concepts by age of 9 years, by 9 years. If there has been a death in the family, children may understand these concepts earlier. So it's good if the children understand the concept of death, that it is inevitable and it happens and it's a natural thing that takes place. Usually by grade 5, more than 90% understand suicide. So we need to play a role in that, understanding them, making them positive. Warning signs in younger students. Internal signs, which you can go through this. Uh, External signs, we have to be careful about it. Uh, Hyperkinesis, that means excessive movement, muscle spasm, a disorder of children marked by hyperactivity or inability to concentrate is hyperkinesis. Fidgeting all the time, constant movement, suicidal threats, attempt to harm self, cutting skin or rubbing object, pencil, eraser, compass, or anything that is pointed on their body to break the skin. Be very careful about this. Children often express their pain in writing, artwork. So we need to be very careful in reading their writings, in understanding the writings. Art teachers play a major role in understanding children's personality. Everybody knows that art plays an integral role in knowing your personality, that the way you draw, the things that you draw are there in your subconscious, are there in your personality. So our teachers need to be trained and be very careful and vigilant about the child's personality. Anger, frustration, frequent temper, tantrums, these are the external factors. Warning signs in younger students. This is to be continued. Poor school performance, marked decline in work, absenteeism, not wanting to go to school, bullying or being bullied. We've already spoken about. What does prevention look like? Let's talking about suicide. How are you to work as prevention of suicide? Less talking about suicide, more about helping kids. Yes, we have to help the kids rather than demeaning them or telling them their negative aspects. Just help them to learn how to recognize and cope with difficult emotions, feel and show empathy for others. Very important. Sympathy and empathy are two different things. Sympathy means you sympathize, oh, this thing happened, oh, I'm sorry. Empathy is you feel the same way, you feel the same pain as the other person is. So that is empathy. This is the difference between empathy and sympathy. Build and maintain healthy social relationships. Yes, the elders can help in that. Know where to turn and get help. You need to know that point where the child needs your help, where this is very important. We need to know. We should not overlook or ignore the symptoms that we have spoken about. Programs that accomplish this. PAX, a good behavior game. There's PAX is a Latin word for peace. So it gives teachers the tools to help prevent behavioral health concerns and promote positive relationships in schools. It's typically targeted to elementary school. So PAX is a game, which gives us tool to prevent behavioral health. So teachers need to work on this PAX, the peace game. What do I do now? If I have that tendency, what do I do? Ask, are you having thoughts of suicide? Have you tried to kill yourself before? How did you try? How would you do it? Listen, tell me what's been going on for you. Take action. Do a suicide risk assessment. Connect to supportive services. Don't underestimate impulsivity in youth. We as adults, we as educators, teachers, parents, we should not underestimate the impulsivity in youth. They are impulsive. Unfortunately, today's youth, as compared to our times, they are impulsive. So we need to devise methods to check, to know about it. Don't underestimate if the suicidal plan or thoughts seem far flung or improbable. Do not underestimate. Even if it looks, what can I do? I can't do anything. That's not my student. It's far flung. I can't. I don't do that. Don't underestimate. If even if you think that the child is not up to that, it's far flung. How will he do? It's not possible. Us don't ever ignore that. So this is all what I had to say about the mental well-being. So I hope it has helped the listeners, the people who are connected with us. And thank you once again, Getty. Yeah,
Thank you
Prina.
so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for discussing, for talking on this. We all know this students' mental health and well-being are the pressing concern, and it has become more urgent in the current scenario, the crisis we are going through. And we can say this has highlighted the range of factors, they somehow influence students' learning and development at different levels. So, yes, not only talking about the physical well-being, but I think emotional well-being is equally important.
Yeah.
And uh, as we are in the middle of this pandemic, people are going to react to this differently, where the transition of back to school is going to be happy moment for some people, and for some students it's like kind of fearful and dreading the return. Maybe they are not really comfortable. Maybe they are facing somewhere or the other the points that you just discussed. And the teachers definitely play a very crucial role in supporting the mental health and well-being of students, especially during these uncertain times. And yes, very beautifully explained. Since well-being has many facets, improving students' well-being in schools require a whole school approach. As you said, the teachers are important, but equally the parents' involvement is equally important. It goes hand in hand, where the teachers take care of the students in school, how they're feeling, and the parents need to focus on things, and we need to really change the points now, as you discussed about pressurizing them for the marks, for good academic performance, and comparing with others. I'm sorry, comparing. This competition thing is actually somewhere making them drained when they are not able to achieve or meet the expectations as the society asks for, or maybe the pados wala Bishra ji and Sharma ji's, when they are compared by. So I think it's high time where we need to work on it, and we can definitely support them. uh, we can say there's a direct link between the well-being and academic achievement. What do you have to say on this? Can we say this is right? Because well-being is a crucial prerequisite, for achieving, and achievement is essential for well-being, we can say.
Definitely academic, because this is the priority of life. Unfortunately, yes, but schooling, academics is priority in a child. Whereas we forget the overall development. Sometimes we only emphasize on academics, whereas it's not true. See, had it been true, we wouldn't have had gold medals and all the medals in the
Absolutely.
sport activities. So it is an integral part, it is an important part. But to educate a child and to make illiterate are two different things. We have to educate the children, not just literate, make them literate. So, in order
Absolutely.
to educate the children, we need to look after both the aspects, physical, mental. overall
Yes,
development. That is why we have two segments in the school, scholastics and co-scholastics. So both are important. And yes, academics, pressure of academics leads to ill mental health,
true.
which unfortunately we were not able to deal with. Now we have understood the need of the hour. We have understood this, the importance, and teachers are constantly attending workshops, getting educated, and now it's high time we need to educate the parents as well. See, in urban
Absolutely.
areas, parents are quite educated, but the kind of atmosphere we have here, it's a semi-urban area where I am. So I face this problem very often. We need to educate the parents more than the child. If the parents are educated, educated, I don't mean to say educated in real sense of education. Educated
Yes.
means mentally educated to bring up a child. Automatically the children are the best. So we need to educate the parents. We need to have parental guidance more often in a school. So this can lead to less of mental illness in children.
And I think, yes, you're absolutely right. We need to educate the parents more and tell them that it's not just about the marks, but it's much more than that. It's beyond academics, what your child is
Right.
going to be someone in life. Well-being is the experience of health and happiness. As ma'am said, it includes the mental and physical health, that physical and emotional safety, we can say, a feeling of belongingness, and it's a sense of purpose, achievement, and success. So I
Right.
think, yes, it's time that we should work on it, working with parents to enhance students' achievement and sense of purpose in school. It goes hand in hand. So, yes, thank you so much, ma'am. I think it was wonderful having you on this forum and discussing something very important that we all need to understand. And there are so many things to, as takeaways, I would say, for the educators who are listening us right now. And yes, if at all the viewers have any questions, they can post it in the comment section. Ma'am will answer them as and when possible. And do share it with all your colleagues as wonderful and important points shared by ma'am. So, yes, with this, we come to an end. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again on
Thank you,
behalf
dear.
of our entire team. And we'll
Thank you
definitely
so much.
connect soon with something
Sure.
to
My
talk about.
pleasure. Sure. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Bye bye.
everyone. Take
Have a
care.
nice day. Bye bye.
Same to you.